Now in Good Morning Northwest, you have 12 hours to cast your ballot. What to do if you need help as the clock is ticking for these important midterm elections.
After record snowfall yesterday, we're going to see a much colder, drier pattern. How cold and for how long is coming up.
And treacherous driving, as yesterday's snowy roads are now covered in ice. We'll show you what you are dealing with on your morning drive. You're watching Good Morning Northwest on 4 News Now. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm Robin Nance.
And I'm Derek Dice. It is Tuesday, November the 8th. Mark Peterson here with a look at that first alert forecast. And I guess, Mark, if you're headed to a polling place or to mail your ballot in, it's going to be slick.
Hey, you're going to have to take it easy. Roads are going to get better as the day goes on. But this morning, you're going to find icy roads. Even on some of the treated roads, you just have to slow down. 20 degrees currently with a clear sky. We have, again, a couple things we want to talk about. And your 4 things you need to know. So that's a double couple. Sunny and cold in the daytime, refreezing of that snow and slush overnight. So that's going to make getting off of those neighborhood roads onto the main arterials very difficult as well. Arctic cold is going to be all week, and the weekend is going to be clouds and just about as cold. It'll have a slight warm up. Again, these road temperatures showing you where everything that was that heavy and melted matter yesterday afternoon is now refreezing. And on those untreated roads, most of the neighborhood roads, you've got ice and you've got issues. So please allow for some extra time. Temperatures in the low to mid 30s today. That's going to be region wide. You head up to Bonners Ferry, you're going to have temperatures just at 29 degrees. We don't have anything to talk about when it comes to what's falling out of the sky. It's a clear sky and it's cold. So we're starting off around 20 right now, potentially down to 18 and then warming back up to 33. We could see that as early as 3 p.m.
Well, Election Day is finally here. You have until 8 o'clock tonight to get your ballot in.
Voter service centers will be open in Spokane County starting at 7 this morning for all of your Election Day needs. Destiny Richards is in studio to explain how voter service centers can help you today.
The 2 voter service centers in Spokane County are at the Spokane County Elections Office and the Center Place Event Center. Both will be open this morning in just an hour and until 8 p.m. tonight when ballots are due. At voter service centers, you can register to vote or update your voter registration info. It is now too late to do so online, so in person is your last chance. You can also get a new ballot or envelope, drop off your completed ballot, use an accessible voting unit, and get any voting questions answered. Washington is a mail-in ballot only state, and you can follow your ballot every step of the way on Election Day. If you still haven't voted yet in Spokane County, register to vote in person, drop off your ballot at your nearest voter service center or a ballot drop box, and once it's in, you can track your ballot online at votewad.gov. There are a number of reasons why your ballot could be challenged or rejected. I'll explain what those are and how to make sure your vote is counted if it happens coming up later this hour. In studio, I'm Destiny Richards, 4 News Now.
Destiny, thank you so much. And from the Breaking Now desk this morning, voters across the country are casting final ballots for state-level offices and in crucial races that will determine control of Congress. Hours before Americans head to the polls, Senate hopefuls delivering their final cases to voters. Right now, Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock is in a close race against embattled Republican Herschel Walker.
You cannot trust Herschel Walker.
I'm sick and tired of people not loving this country.
Meanwhile, former President Trump is rallying voters in Ohio for Republican Senate nominee J.D. Vance. Vance's opponent, Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan, on MSNBC, saying momentum is swinging his way.
Had more people at my rally than Donald Trump did. Okay, this thing is going in the wrong direction for him and in the right direction for us.
Coming up in 30 minutes, I'll break down some shifts we might see in 6 battleground states. Reporting in studio, Sydney Charles, 4 News Now.
All right, Sydney, thank you. There is a lot at stake locally in this midterm election.
From a Washington Senate seat to county commissioners and a local sheriff seat that hasn't changed in 16 years. For the U.S. Senate, incumbent Patty Murray is running for her 6th term and facing a stiff challenge from Republican Tiffany Smiley. Murray received 52% of the vote statewide in the primary election.
In the Spokane County Sheriff's race, Ozzie Knezovich is stepping down but has endorsed current Undersheriff John Knowles over 20 years Sheriff's Office employee Wade Nelson. Both candidates are running as Republicans.
Kathy McMorris Rogers is running for her 9th term as the 5th District's representative in Congress, taking on Democratic challenger Natasha Hill.
All 5 county commissioner seats are up for grabs as well in Spokane County. You can see profiles for all the candidates in our voters guide on KXLY.com/forthepeople.
From morning to night side, we have For the People coverage on Election Day. You can watch us, Derek and myself, coming up at 10 this morning for a streaming Election Day special. That's on KXLY Plus, our app. Then watch primetime ABC coverage of the national races and local coverage on 4 News Now. On TV, streaming on KXLY Plus and on KXLY.com, we are your go-to source on Election Day.
All right, some breaking news overnight now. A person involved in a standoff with officers at the Ephrata Walmart last night was arrested thanks to an assist from a canine officer. According to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, a man barricaded himself inside an RV in the Walmart parking lot last night after pulling a knife on officers. Law enforcement blocked off the parking lot while they attempted to convince that man to come out. After more than 2.5 hours of negotiations, they sent the canine in after him. He was arrested and then sent to the hospital for what they're calling canine contact wounds.
It's going to be another dicey day on the roads. We first brought you this video on 4 News Now at 6 last night. A crash on the eastbound side of Interstate 90 backed up near Hamilton. A pickup pulling a trailer jackknifed, blocking the lanes. This was just one of several crashes last night. You can see these photos from Washington DOT East Twitter account. WSDOT East tweeted these photos from earlier yesterday showing several jackknife semi-trucks that really backed up eastbound traffic near the Sprague exit. What a mess. And the city of Spokane has been warning about the slick roads.
With the amount of hills in our area, it can be tough to navigate. Yesterday, snow crews attacked roads with what they call a maintenance plow operation. They prioritize main roads, schools, hospitals, and hills before moving into your residential areas. Along the way, they do their best to leave behind sand or de-icer, depending on the needs of that area. And as the freezing temperatures continue, crews will likely be splitting time between those main arterials and neighborhoods.
We are always taking care and watching the conditions of those main arterials and those priority routes. And if those change, then we pull those crews off of those residential routes, have them, make sure that those primary routes are taken care of, and then again, work back out into the residential areas.
Crews also preemptively dropped sand or de-icer around town because they knew the melting snow would freeze overnight. But you should still take it slow out there on your morning commute and realize just because roads have been treated doesn't mean the ice is fully cleared.
Get updates on the snow and other weather alerts by downloading the free 4 News Now weather app and turning on push notifications. Weather alerts will be sent straight to your phone. Just search KXLY in the App Store. Good morning, Northwest. Time is now approaching 8 minutes after 6.
Yeah, I came back from a basketball game in the Valley in the 6 o'clock hour last night. The freeway was a mess. You got off the freeway, it was a mess. Trying to go up the South Hill was a mess. It was.
What are you trying to say? Was it a mess?
It was.
Oh, man, it was. Slippery roads. This is time lapse from yesterday where we had then the evening flurries that came through just to add to the fun. We're waking up to a clear sky. Your full forecast coming up.
If there was doubt about Russia meddling in U.S. elections, that may be erased this morning. The bold revelations from someone close to Vladimir Putin.
And Powerball problems with a record-breaking jackpot on the line. Why last night's drawing didn't happen and when it should.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
What do you get when ice-cold beer, gourmet burgers, sports, and the Pint House brand come together? Good times. That's right. Pint House Burgers and Brews is now open at the former Good Times Pub location in the Spokane Valley. It will always be good times at the new Valley Pint House Burgers and Brews.
Since 1945, Sturm Heating and Air Conditioning has been serving Spokane and surrounding communities. A lot has changed since 1945, but one thing that hasn't is our mission to nurture long-term relationships with our customers by offering quality products, flat rate pricing, and industry-leading workmanship. And with our 24/7 service, we will get to you anytime, anywhere. Call for a quote today and see for yourself why Sturm is Spokane's first choice for heating and cooling. Or visit sturmheating.com.
I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message.
Why is Mitch McConnell spending millions to convince you to support Tiffany Smiley?
Tiffany Smiley is outstanding.
So Trump Republicans can pass their extreme agenda. Repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Tiffany Smiley is outstanding.
Slash Medicare. Privatize Social Security.
Outstanding.
Overturn elections.
Outstanding.
Ban abortion. Roll back same-sex marriage.
Outstanding.
Smiley is Mitch McConnell's hand-picked candidate for Senate, making her the wrong choice for us.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. how would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just one day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
We never gonna stop until we make it to the top. We never gonna stop. We never gonna stop.
The 4 News Now Extreme Team back in action, and just before Veterans Day, we've got one at the Vet Center we're going to do geared towards Vietnam vets. It's going to be amazing. You can watch it this week on 4 News Now. The Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
What's the only thing better than one Pint House Burgers and Brews? How about 2? We are now open in the Spokane Valley. The same great sports and music videos, friendly staff and servers, gourmet burgers and ice-cold brews. Pint House Burgers and Brews, now open in the Spokane Valley.
The 4 News Now Extreme Team is brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
All right, welcome back. Here's a look at what's new on Good Morning Northwest. The nation has been on the edge of its seat every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday night for the past few weeks as the Powerball lottery grows to an unprecedented size.
But if you have tickets for last night's $1.9 billion Powerball, hold on to them for just a little longer. The drawing that was supposed to be held last night was delayed. According to the Multi-State Lottery Association, last night's drawing was moved because one participating lottery needed extra time to complete security protocols. The organization explained that all 48 participating lotteries are required to submit their sales and plays before the winning numbers can be selected. Here is a live look right now at what Powerball.com looks like. Winning numbers and results are expected to be announced this morning, but they're not saying when this morning.
Okay, Russian meddling in the U.S. has long been rumored, but now a Russian official is admitting it for the first time. In a Telegram post Monday, Yevgeny Prigozhin, a Kremlin-linked oligarch known as Vladimir Putin's chef, responded to a journalist's question about Russia potentially meddling in today's elections. Prigozhin said, "We interfered, we interfere, and we will interfere."
Subtropical storm Nicole is on track to strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane this week as it approaches Florida. The storm is packing torrential rain and damaging winds that could lead to dangerous storm surges beginning tomorrow. That is according to the National Hurricane Center. More than 20 million people are under tropical storm alerts from Florida to Georgia.
We have Arctic air that has settled in. Your 10-second takeaway, it's going to be clear, very cold today, in fact, through the week. So cold weather gear is going to be necessary all the way into next week. Today's high, 33.
Well, Good Morning Northwest time is now 6:13.
Distrust of government and election denials. How safe is your vote, and how safe are the people working at polling sites? We're talking election security right after the break.
And once you've voted, how about treating yourself to a free donut? We'll tell you what you need to do to get one coming up.
4 News Now is brought to you by Fairway Floor.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
We voted for Patty Murray 4 times before.
But not this year.
Not this time.
Prices at the grocery store keep going up.
Our 401ks are losing value.
We're headed in the wrong direction, and we need new blood.
It's time for Tiffany Smiley.
This November change is on the ballot, and her name is Tiffany Smiley.
This isn't about a party. This is about the future of Washington.
I think we can do better. Voting for Tiffany Smiley is doing better.
I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
What inspires you? Imagine the possibilities at Ferguson Bath Kitchen and Lighting Gallery. Bring your vision to us.
Shop online or schedule a one-on-one showroom appointment to discover stunning products from brands like Electrolux and the best selection of lighting at build.com/Ferguson.
With holidays right around the corner, Ironstone Furniture and Fire is offering discounts on all in-stock dining sets, along with simplicity, indulgence, and endless possibilities. So, when you're looking for dining at its best, visit Ironstone Furniture and Fire in Coeur d'Alene.
I have a little bit of savings, but I depend on Social Security and Medicare. I'm alarmed to read that Tiffany Smiley supports a plan that could virtually, in all respects, end Social Security and Medicare in 5 years. Then she'd make Congress fight about whether to create those programs all over again. It's a nightmare. Tiffany Smiley, I earned my Social Security and Medicare. I will not let you take them away.
Women voters responsible for the content of this advertising.
It is now 6:16. The Department of Justice is being proactive when it comes to protecting voters' rights.
The DOJ announced it's sending election monitors to almost half the states for today's midterm elections. The department said it will have people at 64 election sites in 24 states today, monitoring compliance with federal voting rights laws. The monitors will include personnel from the DOJ's Civil Rights Division and from its U.S. Attorney's offices. Still, experts worry about the ongoing threat to election workers, polling locations, and political officials in an environment filled with misinformation and conspiracy theories.
The nation is polarized, angry. Growing number of people in our society just don't trust government.
Voter fraud, suppression, and intimidation is also an issue. There have been 18 cases of alleged voter intimidation at Arizona ballot drop boxes. This video shows people armed and in tactical gear observing or watching ballot boxes there.
They've been listening to some of their social media feeds or reading misinformation online. Those theories persist in many cases by some of the very candidates who are running to take over in this year's midterm elections.
And fueling the fire, 60% of Americans will have an election denier on the ballot. That is according to pollsters at the website 538. The practice of sending election monitors to polling places traces back to the 1965 Voting Rights Act.
If you need another reason to get out and vote, Krispy Kreme is offering a sweet incentive. It's giving away a free original glazed donut to all customers at participating shops across the U.S. today. So there you go. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Let's do it. And if you have trouble getting there, it would not be a surprise just because the slick roads are no fun.
Yeah.
No fun.
As we've got the yellow light on when it comes to our morning drive, and it really is the arterials, not horrible, but those neighborhood roads and getting into the hills and stuff, still slippery. We're going to have temperatures into the upper teens, around 20 degrees. That's going to be throughout the morning, so we really need you to take it easy. Once the sun comes up, that's going to help on the sidewalks and the parking lots, but you still just got to watch your step. 33 our high today, so just above freezing, but it's really going to be the sun that's going to drive some melting, and then the sun sets in the 4 o'clock hour, and we're going to have temperatures into the teens, and that's going to refreeze that, and this is the cycle, so be sure that you're careful. We look at the live radar and satellite. In around our area, early this morning, we did have a few flurries in the Davenport area, continuing to make their way up towards Colville, and there's a brief flurry or two. That's it. It's Montana and areas onto the eastern side of the southern Idaho that we definitely see still active snowfall. And then it's the winds over to the west side. If you get into areas over into, well, by the Puget Sound, they've got winds in excess of 30 miles an hour. 20 degrees is what we currently have with winds to 9 miles an hour. Again, makes it feel like it's in the teens. It's breezy into Coeur d'Alene. You're sitting at 21, but those winds to 16 miles an hour, you really need to pay attention to the wind chill. Satellite and radar, we're dry, and we have a fairly clear sky. Got a little bit of cloud cover over into Ritzville. We're seeing, again, a little bit of energy into the Colville area, but it's just quick flurries, more numerous into areas around Kennewick, and we're seeing some flurry activity there. Should stay out of our area. For today, our highs are going to be in the low to mid 30s. 35 into Coeur d'Alene. We're at 33, 36 into St. Mary's, 38 Ritzville. But again, the Tri-Cities warming up to 46. Overnight lows are going to be in the teens, and below that, 10 degrees into Bonners Ferry, Colville at 11. And again, everything refreezing, even into Lewis Lewiston. They're going to be down to 26 degrees. The planning forecast, plan on cold weather, so make sure you're being very careful with space heaters that you may be using to augment some of the heat in some of your rooms. Make sure that you're being safe as possible. Destiny Richards has shown us several times through some of the fire departments, be 3 to 4 feet away from anything flammable. Do not plug them into an extension cord. Make sure they're plugged right into the wall. Temperatures around freezing all the way into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, mid-30s. Overnight lows are going to be still in the teens all the way into next week. Yeah, it's going to be cold. So, Extreme Team in action this week. We're doing a project that is required 2 days of full work. Yesterday, it was pouring the pad. So we had I got to get this right. CAD, which is a conveyor aggregate delivery. Brad from CAD. They got all of our straight in there. Lance Pounder made it all level and beautiful, and then Specialty Mobile Mix along with Winkler Concrete did the pad. The whole thing took about 6 hours completely to do that, and of course hampered by cold weather. Yeah. Thursday, we will put a lot of stainless steel and metal that has been manufactured in 3 different areas around town over the last couple of weeks. And Thursday at 6:30, we drop the drape. You're going to see it all.
Drop the drape.
Right there.
I love it. It's not to move that bus, it's to drop the drape.
Well, there's not enough room for the bus.
That's good stuff.
I want to keep updating people on school delays and closures. West Valley, Meade, Freeman, all running 2 hours late.
Yeah.
And one is closed. That's the Lakeland School District in Rathdrum.
Yeah, we've got 7 or 8 bits of information there. It'll be running across your screen and updated throughout the morning.
All right, Good Morning Northwest time is now 6:21. The Cougs kicked off the college basketball season in style against Texas State.
Yeah, so did the Zags as they made quick work of North Florida in the McCarthy Athletic Center. Highlights from both games after the break.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Hi, I'm Randy, owner of Rooter 911 Sewer and Drain.
Sewer and drain cleaning at half the price of the larger competitors.
24/7 service for all of your sewer and drain cleaning needs in Spokane, 535-3136.
What is a jewelry design center? It's a diamond superstore, a center for engagement rings, wedding bands, and anniversary rings, a showroom with unique creations as well as award-winning designers. A fun, comfortable, no-pressure place where you are free to make big, small, or even no decisions at all. We are not your average jewelry store. We are Jewelry Design Center, and we want to be your jeweler for life.
Scarlett was sitting at home freezing by candlelight without power. She looks at her boyfriend's photograph next to his quality stove, so warm and cozy. She says, "I must have heat. I can't wait another week." Buy you and your loved ones the gift of warmth. Scarlett finds the perfect selection of Low-Pi and Fireplace Extraordinaire gas, wood, and pellet stoves that will keep her warm. Red hot sale at Quality Stoves.
I have a little bit of savings, but I depend on Social Security and Medicare. I'm alarmed to read that Tiffany Smiley supports a plan that could virtually, in all respects, end Social Security and Medicare in 5 years. Then she'd make Congress fight about whether to create those programs all over again. It's a nightmare. Tiffany Smiley, I earned my Social Security and Medicare. I will not let you take them away.
Women voters responsible for the content of this advertising.
For people who love their vehicles, there's only one name on their holiday list. WeatherTech. Laser-measured floor liners that fit perfectly in the front and rear. Seat protector to guard against spills and messes. Cargo liner, bump step, and no-drill mud flaps to protect the exterior. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure and handy. Shop for everyone on your list with American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
Hi, I'm Randy, owner of Rooter 911 Sewer and Drain.
Sewer and drain cleaning at half the price of the larger competitors.
24/7 service for all of your sewer and drain cleaning needs in Spokane, 535-3136.
Thanks for checking in with Morning Sports. I'm Julian Middensone. Gonzaga basketball has made it a habit to win on opening night. The Bulldogs have won 17 season openers. They were looking to make it 18 against North Florida. North Florida made it a game for about 4 minutes, and then Gonzaga went on a 26-0 run. Bulldogs right here in transition off the defense. Rozier Bolton with a no-look pass to Drew Timme for the slam. Bulldogs led by 30 at halftime. Second half, more of the same. More Zags turning defense into offense. Check this out. Julian Strother shoots this one from deep. The crowd was electric, as you would expect. So was this next move by Strother, who had his defender on ice skates. He gets the bucket and the foul and talks a little trash after that one. Gonzaga with a dominant performance to open the season. Zags win big, 104-63. Drew Timme led the way with 22 points for the Bulldogs. Malachi Smith added 15 points off the bench. Next up for the Zags, a showdown against Michigan State and the aircraft carrier in San Diego. And tip-off for that one is scheduled for 3:30 on Friday. That'll wrap us up for sports.
Well, the Cougs also opening their season at home against the Texas State Bobcats. WSU expecting big things from Mohamed Gay this year. The big fellow with the bucket inside early. DJ Rodman with a hot hand in the first half as he hits for 3 of his 16 points. Cougs by 7 at the break, and they blow it open in the second half. Gay with the and one inside. He had 18 points and a career-high 13 rebounds. New point guard Justin Powell adds a career-high 12 assists in an 83-61 win. WSU will visit Boise State on Saturday, taking on Tyson Degenhart and company. Good Morning Northwest time is now 6:26.
As we head to a commercial break, check out our first look at what's coming up on Good Morning America at 7 o'clock.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the science of you, the secrets to waking up refreshed. Fitness trainer Andrea Cabrera says while she knows what makes for a good workout, she's not exactly sure how to wake up ready to go.
I would not call myself a morning person at all. I want to go back to sleep when I wake up.
Andrea documenting her wake-up struggles in sleep video diaries.
My brain is just not ready to get up yet. I just feel sleepy. I feel like I need to go back to sleep a bit.
The good news, according to Dr. Rafael Pelayo of Stanford Sleep Medicine Center, is that this is fixable.
You should never wake up tired. You don't leave your favorite restaurant feeling hungry. Why should you ever wake up feeling tired?
For Andrea, waking up better means changing her habits to try to get a full night's sleep. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have expert tips and tricks to get you out of bed for a good morning. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News.
Moderate to severe eczema. It doesn't care if you have a date, a day off, or a double shift. Make your move and get out in front of eczema with steroid-free Sabinco. Not an injection. Sabinco is a once-daily pill for adults who didn't respond to previous treatments and is proven to help provide clearer skin and relieve itch fast. Sabinco continuously treats eczema whether you're flaring or not.
Sabinco can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections and do blood tests. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, or are prone to infections. Do not take with medicines that prevent blood clots. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, lymphoma, lung, skin, and other cancers. Serious heart-related events and blood clots can happen. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of serious heart-related events or death with JAK inhibitors.
It's time to get out in front of eczema. Ask your doctor about once daily Sabinco.
Stream 4 News now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Save your greed! I have a little bit of savings, but I depend on Social Security and Medicare. I'm alarmed to read that Tiffany Smiley supports a plan that could virtually, in all respects, end Social Security and Medicare in 5 years. Then she'd make Congress fight about whether to create those programs all over again. It's a nightmare. Tiffany Smiley, I earned my Social Security and Medicare. I will not let you take them away.
Women Voters responsible for the content of this advertising.
With more and more people working from home and not being as active as they used to, there's never been a better time to get back to the gym.
And Move Fitness wants to help. You can join now for around $1 a day to create a new routine for you.
Join the movement. It's time.
Time to set your eyes free. Free from limitations in your vision. Free from glasses and contacts. Free to see your best and be your best. It's time to smile. Smile is state-of-the-art laser vision correction, or LVC for short. Smile is easy on the eyes. It's bladeless, flapless, and effortless.
Contact Empire Eye Physicians today to learn more about Smile, the new alternative to LASIK.
There are a lot of ways to deal with a stubborn drain. Call us at Mainstream Plumbing. Our high-definition LED camera can go where no plumber's gone before, deep inside your sewer lines to find the root of the problem. Call 866-411-ZAP.
From 4 News Now, this is Good Morning Northwest.
All right, let's take a look at some of the big stories online here in the 4 News Now Story Tracker.
A person involved in a standoff with officers at the Ephrata Walmart last night was arrested with the help of a canine. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says a man pulled a knife on officers, then barricaded himself inside an RV in the Walmart parking lot last night. After more than 2 hours, rather 2.5 hours of negotiations, they sent in the canine after him. That man was arrested and then sent to the hospital for what they are calling canine contact wounds.
Chris Evans is People's Sexiest Man Alive for 2022. Robin, agree, disagree?
Oh, yeah, agreed.
All right. The Captain America star was announced Monday night on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He takes the baton from another Avenger, Paul Rudd. Evans told People magazine for his cover story, "My mom will be so happy. She's proud of everything I do, but this is something she can really brag about." The magazine hits newsstands on Friday.
I wasn't expecting you to ask my opinion there.
You had
trying to keep my opinions to myself.
You had a little reaction off camera last hour when we ran that story. Good morning, Northwest. I'm Derek. I can't blame the pick either.
And I'm Robin Nance. It is Tuesday, November 8th. Mark, are you chiming in or are you going to stay out of that one?
I wasn't nominated at all, but he seems to be, you know, handsome enough. All right, good morning, everybody. The weather outside looks great sky-wise, but it looks ugly when you take a look at the ice and some of our roads that are around there. Sun's starting to come up. We do have snow-packed roads in many areas. We have ice-covered roads as well. Temperatures aren't helping. We're sitting at 20 degrees right now. We have temperatures in the teens all over the region. So we take a look at the 4 things you need to know. It's going to be sunny and cold today. Refreezing of the snow and slush again tonight. That Arctic cold that's with us will stick with us and hang with us all week long into the weekend. But this weekend we'll see clouds coming in. Should be dry, but it's still going to be cold. Our road temperatures are into around 19 degrees, so therefore easily freezing anything. And the bridge decks, if they're not treated, are, again, an ice skating rink, as are the neighborhood roads. So just taking time to get to where you're going will help. Temperatures right now, 20 into the valley, 25 into Liberty Lake, 23 into Post Falls. Coeur d'Alene, you're at 22. But you have winds in excess of 15 miles an hour, so that wind chill into the single digits. Over the next 12 hours, we're not going to see a lot of heat here. Temperatures are on 18 heading out. Sun will be up 7 o'clock. We're going to have temperatures hovering around 30 at noon. Our high today just above freezing at 33 degrees.
Hey, it is election day, if you didn't know, and you have more than 11.5 hours to get your ballot in if you want your vote to count.
Yeah, but you should also make sure your ballot is filled out and sent in correctly. Thousands of ballots get challenged and rejected each year for a number of different reasons. Destiny Richards in studio now with what the Spokane County Elections Office says about these ballots. Destiny.
In Washington, thousands of ballots are rejected or challenged each election season, and most of the time it has to do with your signature. Ballot signatures get scanned at the elections office to verify eligibility, and it's compared to the signature you share when you register to vote. Election workers themselves compare the signatures, and if an issue pops up, you'll be sent a letter so you can correct your ballot in time for your vote to count. You may get a phone call from the elections office up until 3 days prior to election certification. Then you have until November 28th to return the letter to get your ballot counted. Your ballot can also be challenged for these reasons: if it's not eligible, if it was signed with a power of attorney, if a witness is needed, or your ballot comes in too late. The best way to keep track of your ballot status is to check votewad.gov after you turn it in. There are dozens of ballot drop box locations across Spokane County that will be accepting ballots until 8 p.m. It's just the Indian Trail Library and South Hill Library locations that are closed closed due to construction. For a complete list of ballot drop boxes, see kxly.com/forthepeople. Reporting in studio, Destiny Richards, 4 News Now.
And developing from the Breaking Now desk, as results trickle in from key midterm races, there are several shifts we might see in 6 battleground states featuring critical races that will decide Senate control. A blue to red shift could play out in Arizona, in part because election officials can start processing mail ballots as soon as they are received. Election workers spend days opening envelopes, verifying signatures, and piling stacks of ballots for easy tabulation. A red mirage is expected in Pennsylvania, where there are races for Senate and governor. This played out during the 2020 elections when Trump was ahead by nearly 700,000 votes on election night, but his lead evaporated as mail-in votes were tallied. This extreme shift was in part due to the fact that election workers in Pennsylvania can't start processing mail-in ballots until Election Day. 2 years ago, Georgia helped flip the U.S. Senate and the White House into Democratic hands. A similar blue shift is expected this year, where there are close races for Senate and for governor. Things are less clear in Nevada. There was a noticeable blue to red shift there years ago, with Trump narrowing the lead over time but not netting enough votes to overtake Biden. It's unclear if this post-election dynamic will repeat this year. Wisconsin is another state with a likely blue shift, with votes looking better for Democrats over time. It's a relatively small state, and its vote count tends to go quickly. In Michigan, there might be a red to blue shift. State lawmakers passed a law last month letting many localities process their mail-in ballots before Election Day. This should speed up the count, meaning we'll likely see a fuller picture of the overall results tonight. Most of these shifts depend on the voting systems, which vary on a state-by-state basis. All of these predictions are subject to change come Election Day tonight. Reporting in studio, Sydney Charles, 4 News Now.
Sydney, thanks. Prosecutors in the trial of Oath Keepers leader Stewart Rhodes used his own words against him in a heated cross-examination. During his trial, Rhodes testified that he did not know members of his alt-right group had gone into the U.S. Capitol January 6th until they came out of the building. He called that move stupid. Prosecutors say Rhodes allegedly wanted then-President Donald Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act, which would allow the militia to get involved and prevent the change of power to Joe Biden. Rhodes said he never tried to prevent the 2020 presidential election from being certified, but prosecutors pointed to statements he made in a secretly recorded conversation in the days after the attack, in which he said he wished the Oath Keepers had brought rifles, that they could have fixed it right then and there, and that he would hang Pelosi from the lamppost.
National Adoption Month is seeing an adoption law challenge in court. Right now, Native American people are given preference when it comes to fostering or adopting Native children, but that could change. A case in the Supreme Court is challenging the 1978 Indian Child Welfare Act that was made in response to agencies taking Native children from their homes. As it stands, the law requires states to try to place the child with extended family members, members of the child's tribe, or other Native American families before looking outside of Native American communities. The goal is to preserve Native families, traditions, and cultures. Before the Indian Child Welfare Act, 25 to 35% of Native American children were taken from their homes. Most were placed with white families or in boarding schools in an attempt to assimilate them into white society. All right, Good Morning Northwest time is now 6:38.
It is cold this morning and feels even colder than the temperatures, right?
Right. We've got winds out there. Certainly into Coeur d'Alene, your winds in excess of 15 miles an hour. So dressing, bundling up, covering up as much skin as you can. We have the yellow light on for the morning commute because of icy conditions out there, certainly into the neighborhoods and in the outlying areas where there's no de-icer. You're going to want to take it easy. Sun's on the rise. We're going to talk more about what that will do coming up.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Have you had your furnace checked out this year? Now's the time to get our best deal. We have certified technicians available this week to get a safety tune-up for only $99.
324-7884 Spokane Comfort Systems.
The more I learn about Tiffany Smiley, the more worried I get.
Tiffany Smiley has said that it would be awesome to have Donald Trump support. Donald Trump is far from awesome.
Smiley promised Mitch McConnell that she would flip control of the Senate to him.
They could rig the courts with more extreme judges who could ban same-sex marriage.
That's horrible.
She could give Mitch McConnell the power to pass a nationwide abortion ban.
The more I learn about Tiffany Smiley, the worse it gets.
Women voters responsible for the content of this advertising.
Joe Biden can count on Patty Murray. Other Democrats may abandon Biden.
But the president doesn't worry about Murray. From the Green New Deal, student loan forgiveness, expanding the IRS, and giving health care and citizenship to border crossers. Murray votes with Biden 96% of the time on refocusing the military to white supremacy, transgender rights, critical race theory. Patty Murray is a committed progressive. Call Patty Murray. Thank her for standing with President Joe Biden. Our American Century is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This is one of your major investments. At Car Wash Plaza, we'll help you maintain the value. Rust, grime, and street chemicals are constantly attacking your vehicle. That's why we deliver a premium touchless wash.
I can't afford a new car. I'm taking care of this one.
Our state-of-the-art touchless system thoroughly cleans the exterior and the undercarriage.
It's the best in the Northwest. Find a location near you at carwashplaza.com.
Scotty has never seen our children.
A price I was honored to pay.
Today, too many families are having to sacrifice, and I fear we are losing our country. Life is unaffordable, and our communities less safe.
We need change. That's why my hero, Tiffany Smiley, is running for Senate.
I won't stop fighting until we leave our children in America worth giving their eyesight for.
You got this.
With your help, we will. I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
Are you afraid your furnace won't last much longer? Does it make weird noises? Don't wait. We have certified technicians available this week for our $99 safety tune-up special.
324-7884 Spokane Comfort Systems.
All right, welcome back. A man who investigators say killed his wife and hid her body in a freezer in Spokane has been captured in Europe.
Aruzi Kashifi disappeared in May of 2019. Days later, detectives found her body in a hidden freezer in the couple's apartment. Her husband, Wahid Kashifi, got a new passport, a new name, and left the country. Detectives say they received information that he would be attending a volleyball tournament somewhere in Europe and coordinated with European law enforcement to arrest him.
That he felt that he was going to get away with it and be able to live free, just not in the United States.
Investigators say before he killed his wife, he left their children with a friend. Detectives found his car at the Spokane International Airport, where Kashifi left a letter, his phone password, and videos that pointed investigators to find his wife's body. They say he confessed in those videos to killing her. Detectives say Kashifi's 2 children are safe, living in permanent foster care in Washington.
10-second takeaway on this Tuesday morning. Oh, man, clear, and it's going to be very cold. There is no doubt about that, so take care. Traction shoes, if you got them. It's going to be cold weather gear necessary as well. 33 the high today. We'll be right back.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
I have a little bit of savings, but I depend on Social Security and Medicare. I'm alarmed to read that Tiffany Smiley supports a plan that could virtually, in all respects, end Social Security and Medicare in 5 years. Then she'd make Congress fight about whether to create those programs all over again. It's a nightmare. Tiffany Smiley, I earned my Social Security and Medicare. I will not let you take them away.
Women voters responsible for the content of this advertising.
The internet is full of misinformation about how elections work. There are several things you can do to spot misinformation. Be cautious of headlines designed to provoke anger, fear, or other strong emotions. Double check that the source of information is a trusted expert. And see if other news outlets are also reporting on the issue. You deserve to know the facts about Washington state elections. Visit sos.wa.gov to learn more.
Freedom, liberty, pursuing American dreams. That's Idaho. But Joe Biden severely threatened our way of life. Reckless energy policies sent gas prices soaring, irresponsible spending, and record-breaking inflation. Open borders allowed dangerous drugs and crime into our neighborhoods. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message because we are Idaho, and together we'll fight to protect Idaho's way of life.
They keep us safe, put their lives on the line every day. Yet radicals want to defund the police and give criminals get-out-of-jail-free cards. That's the last thing we need. Law enforcement has a champion, Kathy McMorris Rogers. Kathy says no to defunding the police and voted to secure more funding for local police departments. Endorsed by police and sheriffs, Kathy backs the blue and they back her.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers and I approve this message.
We voted for Patty Murray 4 times before.
But not this year.
Not this time.
Prices at the grocery store keep going up.
Our 401ks are losing value.
We're headed in the wrong direction, and we need new blood.
It's time for Tiffany Smiley.
This November change is on the ballot, and her name is Tiffany Smiley.
This isn't about a party. This is about the future of Washington.
I think we can do better. Voting for Tiffany Smiley is doing better.
I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
4 News Now is brought to you by Pinot's Palette.
All right, welcome back. Continuing our For the People coverage this morning. So far, fewer people have voted in Spokane County than expected.
The county auditor says her office thought there would be around 6,000 mail-in ballots by Monday morning, but they received 25% less than that. It's now preparing for a surge of voters at drop boxes today. Voter registration is still up compared to 2018. There are about 40,000 more registered voters in Spokane County. Election workers say people are now coming to voter centers for help if they need to change their address or get a new ballot. You can still do both through tonight, but be prepared to wait.
Tomorrow, expect lines. Is that if you wait until the end, expect lines, for everyone else dropping off the ballots. We're expecting, heavy turnout at drop boxes and through the mail tomorrow and Wednesday.
By 8 o'clock tonight, they're expecting to have around 50% of total votes counted, and will start releasing results around that time. You can also track your ballot at votewa.gov. Thousands of ballots are rejected every election if the signature does not match. As of now, around 1,300 or 1% of ballots in Spokane County have been challenged.
Idaho voters, you'll be dealing with icy roads when you head to the polls today. Election officials are asking volunteers to head to those polling locations early to be ready for voters. Driving to polling locations or waiting in long lines can seem more daunting, when the weather gets colder. Election officials say this year's voter turnout may be higher than the last midterm election in 2018, so many polling locations may be more crowded.
We have been reaching out to our poll worker judges today and telling them to get there early so they can be sure, set up.
Under Idaho law, the polls are required to open at 8 a.m. Election officials say if people are not voting at polling centers, they need to bring absentee ballots to the elections office or mail them to the elections office by 8 o'clock tonight.
If you are voting by mail this election, your ballot must be in a drop box by 8 o'clock tonight to be counted. Spokane County has 25 secure ballot drop box locations at local libraries, town halls, and other sites. You can find this interactive map with all the ballot box locations across eastern Washington at KXLY.com.
Well, from morning to night side, we have For the People coverage for you all day long on Election Day. You can watch Robin and I at 10 a.m. for a streaming Election Day special on our streaming app, KXLY Plus. Then watch primetime ABC coverage of the national races and local coverage on 4 News Now. On TV, streaming on KXLY Plus and online at KXLY.com. We are your go-to source here on Election Day.
Here's a live look. The sun has risen, and this time yesterday we saw all that snow. Well, the snow stopped, but it's not going anywhere.
Right, we had record amounts of snow, by the way, 3.8 inches, or about 37 hundredths of water equivalent. So it was wet. Now it's cold and it's freezing. Into areas where they've treated the roadways, it's looking better. It will get better as the day goes on, but it's still extremely slippery, and in those outlying areas, it's a layer of ice. 20 degrees, winds to 9 miles an hour this morning, so it's a cold start. Warming to 33 today, and then overnight, temperatures down to 14 under a clear sky. So that means that everything that melts or, gets soft with the snow today will refreeze and will be hard as a rock tomorrow morning. So we just want you to be aware of that. Into the Tri-Cities, in and around the Tri-Cities, still there's some flurry activity there. That's heading due north, should stay out of our area. We should see, for the most part, just a few clouds coming across today. We have a few out there right now. If you're heading to Montana, it's winter driving from Missoula all the way east to North Dakota. For right now, we're sitting at 20 degrees in Spokane, those winds to 9 miles an hour. In Coeur d'Alene, it's 21. But again, very breezy at 16. That's that wind chill, making you feel like single digits. For those walking to school or waiting on a bus, you want to make sure you're dressed appropriately. We will see a continuation of mostly sunny skies throughout our region. It's not looking bad sky-wise, but again, our highs today are going to be in freezing to 35 degrees into Coeur d'Alene. Colville, you'll be there. 44 into Lewiston. So it will be a cool, if not cold day. Overnight, it's bitter cold with temperatures into the teens, 11 for Colville. Planning forecast, yeah, we're going to be around freezing all the way through Thursday, Friday 33. The weekend, a little more cloud cover. We're going to have temperatures into the mid-30s, but overnight lows in the upper teens. So just be ready for this Arctic air mass to continue into next week.
Oh, we will. Thanks for nothing.
Full on winter.
It's now 10 minutes before the hour. Your morning sprint is coming up next.
All right, don't go away.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Chewelah Casino.
The 4 News Now Extreme Team back in action, and just before Veterans Day, we've got one at the Vet Center we're going to do geared towards Vietnam vets. It's going to be amazing. You can watch it this week on 4 News Now. The Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
Set your targets on winning cash at Chewelah Casino. Earn entries now playing your favorite games with your Sun Club card. You can earn bonus entries Saturdays in November. Chewelah Casino's Bucks Fever cash drawings are Saturday, November 26th. Starting at 6 p.m., you could win your share of $8,000 cash and Sun Club prizes. It pays to play at Chewelah Casino. Learn more at ChewelahCasino.com.
Freedom, liberty, pursuing American dreams. That's Idaho. But Joe Biden severely threatened our way of life. Reckless energy policies sent gas prices soaring, irresponsible spending, and record-breaking inflation. Open borders allowed dangerous drugs and crime into our neighborhoods. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message because we are Idaho, and together we'll fight to protect Idaho's way of life.
In 1992, we sent Patty Murray to the Senate to fight for us. But after nearly 30 years in D.C., she's changed. Murray has taken almost $2 million from lobbyists, and she voted for a massive tax cut for millionaires. Patty Murray's looking out for the millionaires and special interests, not us. It's time for a change. That's why I'm voting for Tiffany Smiley. She's a political outsider who will always put Washington families first.
Evergreen Principles PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The more I learn about Tiffany Smiley, the more worried I get.
Tiffany Smiley has said that it would be awesome to have Donald Trump support. Donald Trump is far from awesome.
Smiley promised Mitch McConnell that she would flip control of the Senate to him.
They could rig the courts with more extreme judges who could ban same-sex marriage.
That's horrible.
She could give Mitch McConnell the power to pass a nationwide abortion ban.
The more I learn about Tiffany Smiley, the worse it gets.
Women voters responsible for the content of this advertising.
The 4 News Now Extreme Team back in action, and just before Veterans Day, we've got one at the Vet Center we're going to do geared towards Vietnam vets. It's going to be amazing. You can watch it this week on 4 News Now. The Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now. This Good Morning Northwest Morning Sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is just about 6:53. Let's get you up to speed with everything you need to know here on your Election Day Tuesday in the Morning Sprint.
Destiny Richards is in studio with how voter service centers can help you today.
But the roads are icy this morning, so let's get to Mark with telling us what conditions.
All right, in our first alert weather, we did see a lot of heavy, wet snow yesterday afternoon. If you cleared your sidewalks and your driveways, you're in pretty good shape. But it leaves behind that ice layer if you don't de-ice. So road temperatures right now are sitting at about 19 degrees. So anything that melted yesterday has frozen again this morning, making some of those roads icy. So taking it easy. Right now, we're sitting in the low 20s, and we're going to see a continuation of cold temperatures with a high today of 33 degrees.
Election Day is finally here, and if you haven't voted yet, you have until 8 p.m. tonight to get your ballot in. For those living in Spokane County, 2 voter service centers open in just a few minutes for all of your Election Day needs. The Spokane County Elections Office and Center Place Event Center open at 7 this morning and close at 8 p.m. tonight when ballots are due. At voter service centers, you can register to vote or update your voter registration info. It's too late to do so online, so in person's your last chance. You can also get a new ballot or envelope, drop off your completed ballot, use an accessible voting unit, and get any voting questions answered.
There's a lot at stake locally in this midterm election. For the U.S. Senate, incumbent Patty Murray is running for her 6th term and facing a stiff challenge from Republican Tiffany Smiley. Murray received 52% of the votes statewide in the primary election.
In the Spokane County Sheriff's race, Ozzie Knezovich is stepping down but has endorsed current Undersheriff John Knowles over 20-year Sheriff's Office employee Wade Nelson. Both candidates are running as Republicans. All 5 county commissioner seats are up for grabs as well. You can see profiles for all of the candidates in our voters guide on KXLY.com/forthepeople. Some breaking news overnight. A person involved in a standoff with police officers at an Ephrata Walmart last night was arrested with help from a canine officer. Grant County Sheriff's Office says a man pulled a knife on officers, then barricaded himself inside an RV in the Walmart parking lot last night. After more than 2.5 hours of negotiations, they sent the canine in after him. He was arrested and then sent to the hospital for what they're calling canine contact wounds.
It's going to be another dicey day on the roads. We first brought you this video on 4 News Now at 6. A crash on the eastbound side of I-90 backed up near Hamilton. Pickup pulling a trailer jackknife blocking the lanes. This was just one of several crashes last night. You can see these photos from Washington DOT East's Twitter account. And that same Twitter account tweeted out these photos from earlier yesterday showing several jackknife semi-trucks that really backed up eastbound traffic near the Sprague exit as well.
City of Spokane has been warning about the slick roads. Yesterday, snow crews attacked the roads with what they called a maintenance plow operation. They prioritized main roads, schools, hospitals, and hills before they move into residential areas. Along the way, they do their best to leave behind sand or de-icer, depending on the needs of that specific area.
A man who investigators say killed his wife and hid her body in a freezer in Spokane has been captured in Europe. Arizu Kashifi disappeared on May of 2019. Days later, detectives found her body in a hidden freezer in the couple's apartment. Her husband, Wahid Kashifi, got a new passport, a new name, and left the country. Detectives say they received information that he'd be attending a volleyball tournament somewhere in Europe and coordinated with European law enforcement to arrest him.
And voters across the country are casting final ballots for state-level offices. There are several crucial races that will determine control of Congress. Right now, Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock is in a close race against Herschel Walker. Meanwhile, former President Trump is rallying voters in Ohio for Republican Senate nominee J.D. Vance. Vance's opponent, Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan, on MSNBC, saying momentum is now swinging his way. Coverage on the national races will continue on Good Morning America.
Fewer people have voted in Spokane County than expected so far. The county auditor says her office thought there would be around 6,000 mail-in ballots by yesterday morning, but they received about 25% less than that. It's now preparing for a surge of voters at drop boxes today. Voter registration is still up compared to 2018. There are about 40,000 more registered voters in Spokane County.
If you're voting by mail this election, your ballot must be in a drop box by 8 tonight to be counted. Spokane County has 25 secure ballot drop box locations at local libraries, town halls, and other sites. You can find this interactive map with all the ballot box locations across eastern Washington at KXLY.com.
And from morning to night side, we have For the People coverage for you here on Election Day. You can watch Robin and I at 10 a.m. for a streaming Election Day special on KXLY+. Then watch primetime ABC coverage of the national races and local coverage right here on 4 News Now on TV, streaming on KXLY+, and on KXLY.com. We are your go-to source for Election Day. Final check of weather.
At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
We were scrambling to figure out what are we going to do. Got phone call from Numerica. We've got funding that we're sending your way.
Thank you so much for all your support. It actually means something greatly to us.
Scarlett was sitting at home freezing by candlelight without power. She looks at her boyfriend's photograph next to his quality stove, so warm and cozy. She says, "I must have heat. I can't wait another week." Buy you and your loved ones the gift of warmth. Scarlett finds the perfect selection of Low-Pi and Fireplace Extraordinaire gas, wood, and pellet stoves that will keep her warm. Red hot sale at Quality Stoves.
For over 25 years, Fairway Floor Abbey Carpet in Post Falls has been your choice for the best in floor covering for your home or business. Dream it, design it, live it. Fairway Floor Abbey Carpet, North Idaho's premier flooring store.
Just minutes ago, the Powerball numbers were released because of an issue with the drawing last night. No winner as of yet. There are your numbers. Did you get any of them?
I don't know, but I'll be back at work tomorrow, that's for sure. Sunshine, a little bit of cloud cover, 33 for the high today, 32 tomorrow. And we have icy conditions out there. Please use caution when you're heading out today and walking on, again, the parking lots and the sidewalks. It is going to be an icy couple of days until things start to dry out. And we're going to see that slowly go on with overnight lows into the teens and daytime highs about freezing.
Not great.
Yeah, hopefully not too terrible for your morning commute. We'll see you in about 30 minutes with an update throughout Jimmy.